Welcome to the true life story and testimony of Nabeel Qureshi, a journey from seeking Allah to meeting Jesus. He began his journey with certainty, armed with tradition, sharpened by debate, determined to defend the faith of his fathers. But truth has a strange way of ambushing the honest seeker. And the very scriptures he opened to expose Christianity began to expose him. In the silence of his studies, in the battlefield of his doubts, he discovered a reality no argument could silence. Sometimes the truth you try to conquer is the truth destined to conquer you. He was born into a devout Muslim home, a house filled with discipline, honor, and the rhythm of ancient prayers. From childhood, he was taught that truth was already settled, that faith was inherited, not discovered. His parents loved him, but they raised him with the weight of tradition, the pride of lineage, and the conviction that their faith was the only path worth walking. He learned the Quran early. He learned arguments early. He learned confidence early. Wisdom says, a child's first classroom is the home, and his home shaped him like fire shapes iron. As a young boy, he memorized passages, defended doctrines, and challenged anyone who questioned Islam. In school, he debated his classmates with zeal. In his heart, he believed he was defending God, and in defending, he felt strong. But as an old African proverb says, the one who holds the shield cannot see the cracks forming behind it. His certainty hid a quiet ignorance. He knew what he had been told, but he did not yet know how to test truth for himself. In college, destiny introduced him to a Christian friend. Not an enemy, not a preacher, just a friend who was bold enough to ask him, "Have you ever examined your beliefs the way you examine others?" Those words struck him like a stone thrown at a silent lake. Ripples formed. Curiosity awakened. A proverb says, "The beginning of wisdom is the honest question," and that question became the crack through which light began to enter. He accepted the challenge, not to learn, but to win. He wanted to defend Islam with intelligence and prove Christianity false. For him, it was a competition of minds. But truth is like a lion. Once released, it does not need defending. As he began comparing the Bible and the Quran, history and evidence, prophecy and fulfillment, something strange happened inside him. Confidence met contradiction. Certainty met fact. Pride met reality. And reality whispered, "Search deeper." For 3 long years, he investigated Christianity, hoping to crush it. Yet every page of scripture surprised him. Jesus did not speak like a prophet. He spoke like God. He did not call men to rules. He called them to relationship. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And those words began to echo in the chambers of his heart. Truth, way, life. Could truth be a person? Could God be pursuing him? But he pushed harder against Christianity, and the harder he pushed, the more the evidence refused to move. History pointed to the resurrection. Logic pointed to the cross. Prophecy pointed to Christ. And love, that strange, unearned, undeserved love, pointed directly at him. A circular social proverb says, "The man running from the sun cannot escape his own shadow." He tried to run, but the truth kept following him. Then he examined Islam with the same honesty. For the first time, he questioned what he had defended all his life. He read history without filters. He read sources without fear. He asked questions without assuming the answers. And in that season, the fortress of certainty that once stood tall within him began to tremble. He realized that sincerity is not the same as truth. A sincere traveler can still walk the wrong road. And as scripture says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Freedom began as a whisper, but knowledge alone could not bring him to Christ. His mind was moving, but his heart was bound. He feared losing his family. He feared breaking his parents' hearts. He feared shame. He feared pain. A Nigerian proverb says, "The man who carries truth on his head must prepare for stones thrown at him." He knew the stones were coming. One night, weighed down by fear and torn between 2 worlds, he fell to his knees. He cried out with a heart soaked in desperation, "God, show me the truth. I don't care what it costs. I just want to know you." That prayer opened heaven. In a vision, he saw Christ, a glorious, indescribable light, a presence so holy, so loving, so overwhelming that no argument could stand in its glow. What he once knew with the mind became real in the soul, and the God he had studied became the God he encountered. Then came the dream, a dream so vivid, so divine, so prophetic that no interpretation was needed. Like Saul on the road to Damascus, the persecutor became the pursued. His heart surrendered, his spirit awakened, his identity transformed. He gave his life to Jesus, fully, completely, without turning back. But joy was followed by pain. His family was crushed. His mother wept as if she had lost a son. His father grieved as though he had died. The home that once embraced him now felt like a graveyard of broken expectations. His heart shattered. He cried until his chest burned. At one point, the pain was so deep he prayed for death, saying, "God, I can't carry this." But the Lord whispered, "My grace is sufficient for you, and my strength is made perfect in weakness." Instead of dying, he lived. And instead of silence, he spoke. He studied apologetic. He learned the languages. He searched the roots of faith. He wrote books that shook nations. He debated scholars. He reached thousands. Later, he reached millions. His life became a lighthouse for those trapped in doubt, fear, or tradition, a testimony written with courage, intelligence, compassion, and sacrifice. He often said, "Truth matters, evidence matters, love matters more." His story became a sermon. His testimony became a weapon. His tears became seeds. And his life, from Muslim devotion to Christian conviction, became a bridge for others searching in silence. Though his earthly journey ended early, his voice still echoes across the world, a reminder that no tradition is too strong for God to break, no fear too heavy for grace to lift, no past too deep for Christ to redeem. His life proves a timeless truth. When the heart truly seeks, God reveals. When the soul truly knocks, Christ opens. And when truth is pursued with honesty, it leads to the one who is truth himself. If this testimony touched you, let it remind you that God is still calling, still revealing, still transforming. And perhaps, like him, your search, your questions, your tears are leading you into a story bigger than you ever imagined. Share this message, spread the light, and subscribe for more powerful, true life stories that glorify Jesus Christ.